Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Filmmakers Matter podcast with Corona Davis Diop here. And today we have a very special guest, guys. I'm tongue tied. I want to talk to this man so bad already. Filmmaker Charles Honeywood. Hi Charles, how are you?
Hi, Corona. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm like
Mm.
extremely humble, extremely.
So when we were doing our little pre-interview, like I'm fumbling trying to get this question out of you.
Mhm.
Um, your first film experience. I really enjoyed that story. Can
Of
you give us
course,
that story? Your first film experience?
of course. So my first real experience shooting film was actually in high school. We were working on a film called Hales High because I went
Mhm.
to a high school called Hales Franciscan High School, which is an all boys school located on the south side of Chicago, all African American. And the project was a remake of Cooley High. It was more so like a love letter to Cooley High. We called it Hales High. I played a teacher called Mr. Mason, and
Mhm.
it was just a great experience. Just shooting, being in front of the camera, behind the camera, learning, acting. It was a blast, and it really just sparked everything.
So did you edit and everything? Did you edit
Uh,
the movie?
no, I didn't edit it, but I did give my suggestions. Especially in scenes that I was in. Um,
Right, of
I gave
course.
certain suggestions and stuff like that. So I guess you could say I
That's
have a little bit to say so.
that's good. I always love my filmmakers to show that they started from the beginning too.
Oh yeah.
We didn't just end up at this point on a podcast. We had to go through some things before we got to this point.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So, first and foremost, what do you feel is the most important thing a young filmmaker should know?
Oh, that's a good question.
And let's talk about, so it's because that's a very open-ended question. Let's
Mhm.
talk about creativity wise.
Hmm. A young filmmaker should know creativity wise. Well, I would say you have to have belief in your vision, from one, like belief in your story. The most important thing as a filmmaker is the story. You don't have anything else until you have that. So I would say if you have your story intact, you have your characters intact, your world is actually developed, whether it's a series or actual feature film or a documentary. You have your outline done, your treatment. You know where you want to go, and you know how you're going to get there. Everything else is going to flow smoothly. I promise you. Everything else.
Okay. Okay. So basically, make sure your foundation
Yeah, make sure your
is straight.
foundation is strong. Make sure you got a good, solid story.
Okay.
Um, yeah, make sure you got a good team behind you. Make sure you're organized. Organized is a big part of filmmaking as well.
Okay. And what do you think, as a Black African American filmmaker, what do you think we're missing
Hmm.
in filmmaking? What do
I
you
was
think about personally the most that's missing?
opportunities, opportunities, and I feel like the support is there. I feel like
Mhm.
the community is there, but I don't feel like there are as many opportunities as our counterparts per se. Um,
Right.
and as Black filmmakers, I feel like we just need more advocates, for Black stories to get that message out there. We need more supporters, more investors, more studios that are willing to tell our stories, that are willing to produce our projects. Um, and more people that's willing to be along in your tribe, willing to go along on this journey with you, because as you know, filmmaking is a journey from start to finish. You don't come out different on the other side, I promise you. You don't come out the so yeah, if you got that intact, you'll be okay.
Okay. And Charles, what's your favorite part of filmmaking? The writing, the shooting, directing?
Ooh, I haven't gotten that one before. uh
Gotcha, didn't I?
yeah, that was a good one, because I don't want to say the writing, because the writing is cool, but
Right.
the rewrite process is what I don't like,
I
because I can
don't.
tell you when you're working with others, and you have to let people do their job, right?
Right.
So I had a story executive who I was working with on the previous project, and I'm glad she had me continually rewrite it. But when you're working with someone, it's like, no, it's not there yet, it's not there yet, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
The rewriting process can be frustrating, because then it's like, all right, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me to
Mm-hmm.
rewrite this over and over. But it's a fresh set of eyes, and they see something that you don't see. So
Right.
I wouldn't say the writing process. I was honestly say like the directing process is really fun because
Okay.
you're making choices. You're actually seeing everything that you've written in
Mhm.
live time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just fun. You're making choices. People are coming to you. Everybody's having fun. And I like to run a calm ship, as I say. So
Okay. Yes, explain that.
yeah, I like everything to be calm and organized because when you're calm and organized, everybody else will be as well. Because everyone else is following your lead when you're directing.
Mhm.
And if you're starting to fall apart, I guarantee you everyone else is going to fall apart. Everyone else is going to be stressed because they're
Right.
going off your lead, off your energy, off that, things of that nature. So
Mhm.
directing, you can be the most creative. You have to think on your toes. Um, you get to not, you don't really get to call all the shots. I'm not really egotistical like that, but you just get to really work with others, make certain
Yeah.
decisions. Some people may have
Yeah.
better ideas than you, and you still get to either say yes or no. That's the
Yeah.
fun about it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I like working about. I love working with people, period.
yeah,
But it's funny because my favorite part is the writing.
really, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I think we need us in different areas. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to you some more about directing.
of course. Now I really enjoy writing. It's
Okay.
just the rewriting process that because your script is your baby. So of
Yes.
course you're gonna think it's perfect, or you're gonna think ain't nothing wrong with it. It's flawless. This, that,
Mhm.
the third. It can have 3, 4 typos. You be like, okay, so what? It's still good. And then it could not make no sense, or it could be a plot, hole or something like that. And when you got to go back in that kitchen and rewrite, that's
Uh-huh.
magic
Ha-
happens. But
have you ever written something that is so clear to you, but your actors are like, "Can you explain a little more?" You see it
exactly,
clearly, but they need more explanation.
yeah, I've had that plenty of times where actors, I've written something, it sounds right in my head, but then when you hear
Mhm.
the actor say it, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't sound right, and they ask you, can they say it a certain way? And you be like, yeah, sure, let's hear it. And it sounds even better when they say it. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh man, like what was I thinking? I was writing that,
Right. What did I write?
right? What was I thinking?
Can you tell us about a project you're working on right now
Of
or
course.
before? Mhm.
Of course. So I'm working on getting my first feature produced, my first feature film,
Okay.
and that is undoubted. And then I'm also currently in the process of writing my second feature about the Almighty Black Pea Stone Nation.
Okay. Can
So
you
yeah,
tell us about that? Do you want it? Can you share that?
of course. So of course, the Almighty Black Pea Stone Nation is a project that I'm working on, and the Stones were founded here in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. They were a very prominent gang in America, and I feel like their history went unnoticed as far as what they stood for, their organization, their structure, their protection, their involvement in the community, and things of that nature. I feel like they get the light shine on a lot of bad that they did, and not none of the good that they did, and the things that they stood up for. Um,
Okay.
that's my project that I'm writing right now. The other one
Okay.
that's done, my first feature, this was actually my first screenplay that I ever wrote, called Undoubted. So it's been years in the making. Plenty of rewrites, putting it down, coming back, working on something else. You know, this is my baby. This is
Okay.
before Pictures Only. Pictures Only is something I stumbled upon. As I like to say. Um, this one is more so about the disappearance of Black women, because as you know, Black women going missing is not only an epidemic in Chicago but around the world and stuff like that. And it's something that people seem not to really care too much about for whatever reason, or you have to raise hell for people to really.
Right. Right.
So it's
I'm
about.
sorry to interrupt you. Can you say the name again?
Oh yeah, it's called Undoubted.
Undoubted.
Mhm.
Everybody, undoubted. Okay.
Yeah, it's Undoubted, and it'll be my first feature film that I'm planning to direct. It's already written and produced, and this one, like I said, takes a look at missing Black women, but also madams, in the sense of, because when you look at trafficking, you always see like the male get like all the highlights or all
Yeah.
the, I guess,
Mhm.
airtime and stuff like that. When really, I feel like a lot of these women are doing the recruiting and the grooming and things of that nature, but you don't never hear anything about it. They're the masterminds behind it. So
Right.
why not make a movie about it? I haven't seen any movies out really about madams and stuff like that. So it's like taken, but with a twist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With a perspective. So yeah,
Right. That's awesome.
thank you. Thank
I always think about. I have a daughter, so I always think about things like that, and I'm glad you're bringing that more to light.
you. Of course, yeah, I have a lot of women in my family, a lot of cousins.
Mhm.
I have sisters, things of that
Mhm.
nature. So yeah, it's always on top of my mind.
How do you navigate the balance between artistic expression
Mhm.
and the commercial demands of filmmaking, especially as an independent creator? So, how do you not make yourself commercial? How do you stay true to yourself?
Mm,
And it's hard.
it is. It is very hard. I
Yeah.
think I just go with the flow. I really just listen to my intuition, listen to my heart, listen to what feels right, and just stick to my guns. I like to stand 10 toes on what I believe in. Have a
Right.
sense of direction, sense of morality and morals. I have things that I won't depict us as. I have things that I won't go for, and stuff
Right.
like that. Because I know how powerful of a medium that film is.
Hmm.
How powerful it can be, uh, as far as influence and things of that nature, and teaching people and educating people. So I feel like it's like my due diligence. Like Robert Townsend. I was watching a call with him the other day, and he says he has talents too. He wants to use them for good, and that's where my motivation comes from, wanting to use my gifts and stuff like that for good, not for the mainstream media. And if you do it the right way, the money will come. The commercialism will come and stuff like that. So you do
Okay.
it your way, it'll be right.
So, what would you say your favorite genre was? I mean, is sorry.
Oh yeah, by
Your
far.
genre.
Off top, immediately, I would say thriller. Anything that keeps me on the edge of my seat, keeps me guessing. Like, oh man, what's going to happen next? Like, oh run! Like, get up out of there! Like, that makes me forget that I'm watching a movie.
Uh-huh.
That when the characters are so good, I forget that that's Denzel, or I forget
Right.
something good. That's Alonzo to me. That's not
Right.
Denzel. And a good thriller, it'll always take the cake. Always.
That's true because I was talking to someone about how the same actor, if they're good, they're
Hmm.
10 different people.
Exactly. Like,
Like some actors you see the same actor playing.
man.
My husband feels that way about Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
Like
yes.
he has the same temperament. He's
Same,
like
same.
just the same guy and the same, but I like him.
Yeah, I
So
like him too. You know who's
yeah.
coming? Like who's been like that for a while? Liam Neeson. From
Yes.
Taken to all these different movies, it's the same guy,
The
but it
same.
works. It works. It's the same
I
character.
think he even, I swear to you, I think he even used that same line in a different movie. I have
Yes.
special skills.
I will find you. I'll kill you. It's a bomb. It's always some type of unique situation.
Right. Oh my goodness. What ideas could you come up with for African American, for Black people
Hmm.
to do better with creating our own content? Like my idea, like just for an example, my idea is that we come together more, like you said,
Hmm.
put our money in together,
Hmm.
you know, rent and buy our own studios.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of ideas do you have that we can?
I would say in addition to like collaboration,
Mhm.
being patient with each other and actually like showing up and supporting each other.
Yes.
It's one thing like collaborate, but it's another thing to actually be there for
Yes.
someone. Because
Yes.
as you know, like when you're going from project to project, this could be just like another job or another project to
Mhm.
some people. But when you're
Mhm.
actually showing up for someone, when you're actually contributing, when you're actually giving ideas and supporting and working overtime or not using your title, your position as some sort of like calling card or right to make a decision. When you really
Right.
realize that you look at the big picture, basically.
Mhm.
This isn't about one person or about a character or about this, that, and the third. It's all about the story, and how we are depicted, especially on
Right.
Black projects. So,
Yes.
yeah, really
Mhm.
showing up for each other outside of just collaboration, but really doing it.
Okay, so usually people want to become doctors, lawyers, athletes. Like, what was your pivotal push into filmmaking?
Honestly, screenwriting. I like to consider myself a poet by trade. I was big into writing poetry in high school, reciting poetry, reading poetry. And as I've gotten older, I realized that screenwriting is a cousin to poetry because of
Mhm.
its descriptive nature and things of that nature. So, um, yeah, poetry is my thing. Writing, communicating, expressing myself. And that's really how I got into filmmaking. Just wanting to learn how to write a screenplay, you know,
Right.
wanting to learn how to format it. And I really have like a thirst and a love for learning and
Hmm.
continue to learn and stuff like that. So I would just attend various workshops,
Right.
various courses. I didn't do your traditional film school, and I would just go from there, take it one day at a time.
Okay. Beautiful, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, what do you think we need more of as a Black community in the entertainment industry, and what do we need less of?
Mm, I think we need more black gatekeepers at the top. I feel like a lot of these executives, we need more diversity. I don't know it's easier said than done to put people
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
positions. The Tyler Perrys, the Spikes, they're
Hmm.
all like a dime a dozen.
Yes.
Especially
Yes,
in this
sir.
industry. So if we can get more gatekeepers that look like us, man,
Mhm.
that'll open up the floodgates. You know,
Right.
it's one thing to
Right.
have platforms which are great, but we need those people that are in those powerful positions to help us. And we need less of I can do this myself. Because filmmaking is not one of those industries where you can do it yourself, but
Mhm.
like how you gonna be once you're done? How is the project gonna come out? How is this gonna suffer? How is this gonna affect you, your mental health, your health overall, you
Right.
others? Like we need more togetherness, more gatekeepers, and less
Right.
myself
Because this is not for the weary.
at all.
I
At all.
learned this is not. I grew up in Greenwich Village, like the entertainment mecca in New York City.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to do this my whole life. And I didn't start till maybe like 9 years ago,
Okay.
which is in this industry is still kind of new.
Right.
And
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop.
Yes.
It's tiring, it's hard,
Very.
it's tedious.
Very.
I wouldn't stop for the world.
Very. It's expensive. It's everything.
Speaking of expensive, what's some good advice for youngins who are trying to raise money for their projects?
Mm. Man, get you some rich friend. No, I'm just playing. um, in addition to your own funds that you're gonna have to use, like I will honestly say, get you some people, maybe like 5, 6 people who you can, really build with, because crowdfunding is very difficult.
Mhm.
I didn't go the crowdfunding route for pictures only, specifically because I knew how difficult it would be. I
Mhm.
decided to reach out to like private investors, which was basically friends and family who I felt like might have the money and wouldn't need it back right away,
Right.
to film.
Uh-huh.
So it's more so just about networking. Now, also, it wasn't like this all came out of the blue, as far as filmmaking, because if you wake up tomorrow and somebody who you've never seen or heard talk about filmmaking and they say, I want to make a film, are you going to invest? How likely are you going to invest in it? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You never talked about it. So make sure you're seen doing these things, like on projects, you're sharing stuff on social media so people can see like, okay, he's actually been doing this for a while, he's actually interested in this, and they'll be more likely to invest in you. Pitch to a couple of pitch competitions, let them see you lose, let them see you fail, because you're failing forward, but they'll actually see you, what I'm saying, attempting to do these things, and then
Right.
they'll be more likely to support you,
Mhm.
in the future moving forward. So yeah.
Because young people these days, they can get the support. If
Yeah.
they show us, I
Yeah.
would support a teenager in a minute doing a film.
Exactly. Exactly. No problem. Like what you need, 100, 200, if I
Yeah,
can do more, I'll do more.
yeah. So, okay, young folks watching this, you got support out there. This show us what you got.
Yeah, just show us what you got. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be worried about what other people think, especially with these pitch competitions. And every time you fail, you're not really failing, you're learning. So when you get that opportunity again, you'll be even better. So don't be worried about failing. At least you're trying. A lot of people out here aren't even trying.
That's
So,
right.
at
That's
least you can
right.
say you tried.
What's a piece of advice would you like to end this interview with? Something you think is very important to share with future filmmakers
Mm,
that
good,
you had to learn the hard way?
good piece of advice. Uh, well, as you know, being a filmmaker, what can go wrong will go wrong. It's like building a plane, falling out the sky. Filmmaking is like trying to herd cats, which is pretty much impossible. I'm trying to think of all the sayings that I learned while trying to put this film together. And I actually experienced them in person. So
Mhm.
I would say be organized, get you a great producing team, like a great associate producer, um, main producer, line producer to really break down your budget to help you understand things, uh, and get some people that's really on board, because when this train is moving, people who started with you aren't going to finish with you. That's just
Yes,
how the
sir.
process goes. Like,
Mhm.
don't become super attached to stuff. Be open minded, be teachable. Don't come in with the mindset like I know everything, because even if you do, you don't. You're gonna learn something new while you're on set. And I guarantee you, if you think you're smart, somebody out there is smarter than you. Somebody out there is wise. And
Yes.
if you're directing, keep in mind that people are here to help you. This is your project that you're leading. So when you're directing, don't come in with an attitude like you're listening to me. Come in with
Mhm.
that mindset like, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me bring this project together. I'm glad you're working with me, and I guarantee you, everything would exceed your expectations.
Wow. You awesome, man. Yeah, because I've heard the horror stories.
Yeah,
When I first started, I was so scared because I'm like, I heard how directors were
yeah,
just horrid to people.
yeah. Just horrible. And I think it's the
Yeah.
position at the end, the ego, and thankfully,
Mhm.
with Pictures Only being my first film, that I
Mhm.
was like over and directing and stuff like that. I came in with that learner's mentality, like a very humble mentality. I had a great team around me, and thankfully, I had everything together as far as storyboard, shot deck. I had everything. I already had the project casted before I brought it to the production company,
Nice.
but I
Nice.
still came in with that mindset, like you're helping me.
Right.
I'm not helping you guys. You guys are helping me.
Mhm.
So let me know what you need from me and how and what I can do to make this project as smooth, as successful, as stress free as possible, so we can all get the best result. Because at the end of the day, when that name comes up and it says this is a such and such film, when you see your name up there, you're gonna want the best quality out there. Because now your name, people when people are watching it, if whether it's good or bad, they're gonna blame the director. They're not gonna blame the cameraman. They're not gonna blame the person holding the microphone or the lighting person. They're gonna be like, man, why
Mhm.
didn't you say something?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Charles, for
Thank you.
coming on here and dishing the tea and spreading the news and teaching us.
Of course,
Seriously,
thank you, Karen.
teaching
I
us and
appreciate
teaching me because just when I thought I knew something, you guys come on here and just rock my boat. Like
it.
you don't know nothing, girl. I
Thank you.
love
No, I'm
it.
still learning every day, so I don't know nothing either.
And thank you for taking the time and just to show anybody, to show the young ones again, if you need to connect, you have any questions, you need any assistance, help, I'm there.
Yeah, of course. I'm here. If you
Okay.
guys want to reach out, I'm Honey Padre on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Same with the email, honeypadre@gmail.com. So it's all straightforward.
Nice. This is a beautiful interview. Thank you. And I hope you come back again.
Thank you so much. I definitely will.
Have a good night, Charles.
Thank you. You too.